Have you ever wanted to create a society that was a bit more interesting than, oh, it's just another feudal kingdom? Well, today's system might just be something that would really help you. So come check it out with us. Hello, and thank you all for joining us again here today on Hessens County for another TTRPG Talk short. This video series takes a look at tabletop role-playing games and related materials in short form. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the Medieval Civilization Generator. It does exactly what's on the tin. It creates medieval civilizations through a generation system. This was developed by Currentpattern on DrivethruRPG. So a link will be found down below. Unfortunately, I don't know anything more about the person who created this, and they don't seem to have created or uploaded anything else to DrivethruRPG, so I can't tell you anything more about the author. However, we are going to be exploring the basics of how this works. Currentpattern decided to create this in part in response to, all of those fantasy stories and campaigns and adventures and things out there where you end up with yet another not very realistically constructed fantasy, medieval feudal kingdom. That, of course, leaves out a lot of variety that you can see in various eccentric cultures around the world, right? And also different ways that even manorialism and stuff like that has evolved in Europe over the centuries. So this is basically a system agnostic tool that was created around the ideas expressed by Francis Fukuyama in his theoretical political book, The Origins of Political Order. Obviously, I'm not going to go into the specifics of that particular text because A, that's not important necessarily for your understanding of this system, and also B, I have read that book, but it was ages ago, so I don't remember very much of it. Basically, this system relies on 13 different dimensions in an attempt to try to describe your particular society that you're looking at, and government, and in turn decides who in the society would probably be the holders of power, basically the keys to change, right? So the first thing that whenever you're using this system, you're going to need to do is you're going to need to determine the basic era, let's say, of your society. The particular eras that are pointed out here are really strongly influenced on European history. You can use this system for other, parts of the world, and even technically outside of what we might describe as the medieval era. All you really need to do is take a look at the basic descriptions, and you can probably apply these different sort of eras to different parts of the world. As we roll on the different randomization tables in order to determine sort of the different sorts of structures of things, these are going to be adding or subtracting power from certain particular social actors that were described here, these different classes or groups in society, right, that may or may not hold power. Now, again, as I mentioned, the structure of the society is split up into 13 different sort of categories, and each of those 13 different categories have their own table that you roll on. So I'm going to show you the governmental structure one just as a basic idea. So you will notice if you take a look here, right, we have different odds of rolling certain things, right, and normally the tables are structured in such a way that they have a sort of like a range or a level from like one extreme to another. Just to run through the other ones real quick, we have the entry into government, how people join government, the presence of and strength of the rule of law in this society, who holds people accountable, and how thoroughly that's applied. Whether or not there is a caste system present in this society, the strength of your and presence of a hereditary aristocracy, the strength and nature of the sort of relationship between the aristocracy and commoners, and how that allegiance is kind of held together or not. what exactly the structural nature of the religion of this, the primary religion of the society is, if there is one. Who are the major landowners? Like, does the aristocracy own all the land, or is the land owned by the king, right, or whoever the executive is? What is the nature of property rights? Is property generally well protected, or can people take away your property at any time if they want? What types of military structures is the society utilizing? Do we have just basically, locally organized militias and that's it? All right. Or do we have like a paid mercenary professional army? What is the source and the nature, like the volume of governmental revenues? And then finally, what is the sort of like the nature of growth and innovation in the society? Is the society just kind of maintaining the status quo and that's it? Or are we in a maximalizing or expansionist sort of nature phase? As you can note here again on the table, taking a look at all of these different these 13 different elements of sort of like a societal structure, we can figure out who holds power, and then by combining structures with power, we can develop a much wider volume of different types of societies that could potentially exist in your game world. That would be undoubtedly much more diverse and interesting. Thank you all for joining me again here on Hessens County for a little look at this. Don't forget to rate your purchases on whatever website you might get them from, including itch. And thank you all for joining us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, all of that jazz if you liked this and would like to see more. And have a good zone.
If you would like to show your support for this channel or for the Hessens County blog, in the description down below, you will find links to the channel coffee and also the itch store. Please feel free to take a look, and thank you for your support.